Welcome to Wealthy. I am one of your co-hosts, Hannah, or Health by Hannah on social media. And this is Derek.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's your social platform?
My social?
Yeah.
Just at Derek Spawn is Instagram, and then find the show on Twitter at Wealthy Podcast.
Yeah. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. That's a great way to stay in the loop for episode announcements or anything. Today we are going to talk about getting started, but in regards to your wellness. Last episode, we talked about getting started with your wealth. With it being a new year, we definitely wanted to touch on both and give both topics the energy that they both needed. So welcome. And just in case you're new to the podcast, if this is the first episode you've ever listened to, I'm Hannah and I am a wellness professional. I focus on fitness and nutrition and living a balanced lifestyle full of self-love. Derek is in the finance industry. He is a licensed broker and does a lot of other consulting, financial. He's amazing. So with my wellness background and his wealth background, we together make Wealthy, Wellthy. Super cute, super clever, right? But yeah, let's get started with this episode. So getting started on health. It's a new year, 2019. I'm sure you're probably listening to this within some time during the week, and there is a Monday coming up. So whether you're using this as the kick in the pants or the getting started for a Monday thing or for a new month thing, or if it's the start of a new year for you listening to this and getting revved up, hopefully this is the episode for you. Derek actually, in doing homework for this episode, found a really awesome quote that I'd like to just kind of set the intention for this episode with today. And that the quote reads, all of my progress in my let me just, okay. All of my life.
Third time's the charm.
Would you mind reading it, Derek?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
It just says, all of my progress in life started when I stopped making excuses and accepted full responsibility for my life.
I love that quote so much, even though I can't read it out loud apparently, but that doesn't mean it's not any less true. It does speak to a lot of different areas in our lifestyles, but I really want to think of it and kind of hone in on how it applies to health and wellness. So let's just get to it. I think there are a lot of different ways you can start a health journey. And we're just kind of go over my preferred way to make any fitness, health, wellness, lifestyle change and kind of the steps to do that. So, always with anything, the first step is the most important step. If you never take the first step, you're not ever going to continue putting one foot in front of the other. You're not going to be able to do anything, Yeah,
you have to start. That's literally it. You have to just start somewhere. Someday you have to do something. And I think people they freak out so much over that one step.
I think it's almost like people are underthinking it and maybe underwhelmed by it because it's one of those things that everybody knows, it's just you have to take that first step. So I think people think they should skip it or they don't need to do it because it's such a common thing. Maybe I don't know, but it's
I think
weird.
You can get both sides of the spectrum though at the same time. For me, I think I come from the other side of being more prideful where I guess, so I agree with you. I am the person you're talking about that skips it. I look at it almost like warm-ups for workouts. I'm so much better at this now, but I used to be no, why would I warm up? No, that's dumb. I came here to lift.
And
I came here to run.
How many injuries did you used to have?
Well, still got them, but it has helped me see progress and have better, more effective and efficient, workouts and things. So definitely, I think that's a huge thing, but I think people overthink it too.
Oh, absolutely. I think people, on this other end of the spectrum, overthink it and then get overwhelmed by it. And so either they spend too much time on how to make that first step happen, or they just skip it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. In my industry, if someone is trying to make some sort of investment decision and they get all these pieces of information and all these things of telling them what to do, and they do so much research, you get what's called paralysis by analysis. You just overthink it. You get too many ideas because you have good intentions of saying, okay, I'm going to make this decision, do some homework. All right, well, I want to try to pick holes in it to make sure it's the best foolproof thing to do. So I'm going to get some contradicting info as well. And then you end up with a million pieces of info that all contradict each other. And you're like, I'm more lost than I was with the beginning.
What do I even believe in now?
Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah. And I think that whole thing, it makes me think of like WebMD. When people like WebMD their symptoms before they go to the doctor, and they're like, it actually reminds me of my medical classes that I took in high school and then in college. We were going over, it was a course that we just studied diseases, and we were talking about a certain disease and all these symptoms. I can't remember what it was, but it was something similar to like prostate cancer. Oh. But like, as we were talking about the symptoms first, I was like, I have that. I have that. I have that one too.
Oh my gosh.
What the heck? So I have prostate cancer? And it's like, no, I can't have prostate cancer. But it's really funny how people can, what was the term? Paralysis by analysis.
That's
so good.
I know, we're clever in this whole money industry over here.
I feel like we should crochet that into a pillow or something.
Oh, I don't. And then set it on fire because I don't want it.
No, but it's just like, and then we put like a nice little X through it. Like it's just a cute little reminder. Or maybe I'll etch it into a stone for you and put it on your pillow. You know, those.
It can say, ones. Just do something.
Just do something.
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Because you'll learn. If it's the wrong thing, you'll learn.
Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, there are two ends of the spectrum, as with anything. People can be underwhelmed or underthinking, or overwhelmed and overthinking about just getting started by stripping it down to the fundamentals of creating a solid plan of where to begin or how to begin. I think those are huge. So first things first, you have to know where you've been. You have to know where you are to know where you can go feasibly in the health industry, you know?
Definitely.
May I use you as an example?
Use me.
So Derek used to think he could be 220 pound, thick, big muscle. Probably not 300 grams of protein, probably like 200 grams of protein though a day.
I was eating? I don't know, but I was eating a lot. I definitely thought I could have that
supplementing with protein.
Big bodybuilder, big guy, kind of what I was shooting for there for a while.
Yeah, and this is pre me, not.
Yeah, it was pre you. I was just lift heavy, lift big to get big, all that, or and eat big, all that.
Yeah, and like you had big arms, but you also had a big belly, and
I was round.
You were cute though. You pulled it off. But anyways, but then the whole reason why this is a, applicable example is because then Derek was like, wait, this is not working for me. I've spent this long working this hard and I'm not looking the way I want to. He stepped back and did a little bit of self-evaluation. Oh. Weird. Is this a concept new to anyone?
It's new to me.
Oh, weird. Okay, because you're the example. Okay, weirdo. Okay, but he did a little bit of self-evaluating and self-assessment of, this is what I've been doing. This is where I'm at now. This is completely opposite from where I want to be. So how can I shift? So, not skipping too far ahead, you need to look at your current health, fitness, or wellness situations and evaluate yourself. You need to thoroughly do this, and this is not, again, this is where pride can come in. This is where uneducation can seep in too, of you're either uneducated, so you don't know what to look at, or you're too prideful, so you overlook certain things, as far as weaknesses go, or strengths, or anything. Just, you need to look at yourself as a whole and see usually where you can do better, not where you can take a little do a little worse at. No.
Well, yeah, you don't want to look at it and be like, I'm so good at this, I'll back off a little bit.
Yeah.
I had an example.
Yeah,
I think
please.
of as you're describing this whole kind of self-evaluation is I think certain groups of people that are notorious for being incapable of giving themselves honest self-evaluations are like middle-aged men. Middle-aged and older men, I think. And I think maybe, women can too, but I'm talking about just from my experience. Yeah, a lot of older men, they just cannot accept that they are no longer 20 years old, 25 years old. They can't just all of a sudden decide, yep, tomorrow, man, I'm jumping, I'm running 6 miles, I'm hitting bench press, I'm doing it. And it's just like,
I used to in high school. You should have seen the
yeah.
I could bench 220 in the
Sure, yeah, and
weightlifting class.
They need to make an honest right. Where am I currently? That may have been your past. Great. So at least you have knowledge and you've been there before, but your current evaluation needs to be, I am no longer that age. My body is no longer in that condition. I am no longer that in shape anymore. Where am I now?
Well, and in the similar vein of why did you stop in the first place?
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's a huge question. And it's not just like, what are the conditions of your body currently or what were they in the past? It's why did you stop your past thing to get you to where you are currently? And I mean, whatever that helps you, but just ask more questions. The more questions you can ask and then look for an answer for, the better, because then you're going to be able to know how to plan for the future. If for some reason an example of one of these older gentlemen, they stopped weightlifting because of an injury and they started, they stopped for an injury. They began a sedentary lifestyle because, after high school, you work your life away, whatever it is. And then it was an active enough job that they didn't have to work out. So they were kind of getting by as far as daily activity goes, but they just didn't get back into the fitness because they were so out of shape or didn't have time. But ultimately, they stopped their actions and their fitness routine because of an injury, So if you're moving forward, don't assess or don't forget about what stopped you in the past.
Well, yeah, because it could stop you again. If you blew out your shoulder in high school, you're probably more prone to blowing out your shoulder again as a 45-year-old man.
Yeah, or it never was even healed. So it's just
so yeah, you got or if the time thing, if it's, well, I just ran out of time, or it's like, okay, well then maybe you need to be aware that time management might be a thing that holds you up now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think looking at your current health, where you're at, and where you have been, and all the questions that come up in between, it's not just the critique of your physique in the past and then where you're at now. And yes, I am so my mother's daughter with that rhyme.
Critique of your physique.
Critique with your physique. But you have to, and you don't just focus on what you look like. It's what you feel like. It's what stopped you. It's what started you. It's what motivated you. It's what kept you going. It's what everything. If you've never liked running, maybe, don't try running as your first thing to get back into fitness. Okay. Yeah. So anyways,
agreed. Don't do it.
No, running is great. Cardio is awesome.
I used to hate it. Now I love it.
But so with this, you have to do it thoroughly. Before you move on to the next step of actually setting a goal, you need to be able to accurately see where your weaknesses are or what area you'd actually like to improve on. And being broad as far as the exploration goes is great, but we'll specify a little bit more once we're on the goal setting aspect of it. Often this is the most difficult part of starting something new, though, just because looking at your weaknesses with a fine-tooth comb is not something we as humans typically like to do. Looking back and figuring out what, everything means not the best feeling thing, especially if it involves a lot of quitting or failures or even injuries, it could strike a chord. But it might be, it might mean that you're able to move forward and then switch your kind of explorative mindset to a goal setting mindset. So you're even more available and ready for the next step. It might even be possible that after this evaluation that you just need to adjust your mindsets and your expectations going forward. So just like the middle-aged man who stopped weightlifting in high school because of an injury, same thing. He forgets now that he's an older gentleman that he even had this injury. After his self-evaluation, maybe he is adjusting his expectations a little bit to go forward. Now I want to introduce our goal setting aspect. There are a lot of different ways to set a goal. We will talk more about that in another episode. But just to kind of give, we're talking about how to get started. So I'm giving you all the steps. This is the time where you set your massive goal. And I personally like to call this a BHAG. Do you remember what that stands for?
No, it was something weird though. It was like a weird, not like weird, but it just was like, this is such a Hannah thing of way to describe something.
Yeah. So BHAG, BHAG stands for big, hairy, audacious goal. So it should be a little scary. It should make you a little uncomfortable when you think about it. It should also feel like a reach, but it should also be something that's doable for you. There's a reason that you are, you're setting it in the first place. It's doable, it's achievable, but it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's like this is a really weird example of a BHAG, but in high school, I was going on a service trip to India my senior year of high school, and we were responsible for raising, a couple $1,000s to pay our way and then to be able to, get supplies for all the projects that we wanted to do while we were in India at the schools we were teaching at. So I did a lot of fundraisers. I worked my butt off, but I also ended up writing a note to Ellen DeGeneres.
Really?
I did.
I didn't know this. Tell us this story. I need to hear this.
No, so it didn't amount to anything, but it was a BHAG. It was a big, hairy, audacious goal, or it was just bold. It was a bold ask that I was like, Ellen, look, I'm going to go to India and I'm going to help at these schools to teach them English. I need money to get there and to make a bigger difference while I'm there. Because literally the money I took over there, I could see it helping someone. So I was super motivated. I raised more than the minimum. It was really a cool feeling.
What the heck, Ellen?
So, no, I'm sure she was busy with Finding Nemo or something.
With Finding Nemo. Save the children.
Stop. She does plenty. I'm not talking smack on Ellen, but I'm just saying, I wrote a letter to Ellen DeGeneres about asking her for money or anything, even if she wanted to donate school supplies.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was very uncomfortable. I'm not one who likes to ask for money in any situation. But it was doable. I wrote the letter and, I'm not worse for wear now that it's done. This is your giant end game goal. A good example maybe for Derek. Can I throw you as an example again?
What my fitness goal is for the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your fitness goal for the year?
So I decided 2019.
I'm going to get mighty and lean.
No, because I'm not your your mother's daughter's. I don't need weird catchphrases. I can just make a decision without having a chant.
My mom is the queen of making catchphrases.
We love it. It's fun.
It's awesome.
But she has some clever ones for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, my goal for 2019 is that I will actually want to get my body composition, my body fat percentage below 15%. I feel like that would be get me to the appearance that I would that I want. I want to look better. I want to look leaner. And that's really my goal. Is I feel like I went through that whole bodybuilding big guy phase. And then I went through a phase of, I need to lose all the weight and be scrawny. And, getting back from, Marine boot camp, we learned that I don't look good when I am this Skeletor child.
Which did people know you're a Marine?
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So,
but yeah,
no. So, I mean, my goal is under 15% body fat. That's kind of my minimum. My real goal is if I could hit 12 would be ecstatic. So that's what I'm shooting for. Goal is 12%. That is the big goal for me because I've seen what guys look like when they hit 12% and you're pretty dang leaned out. I mean, but it's got to be a big, big goal for me. And that's a big ways to go. So yeah, even if I don't make it all the way, I'll be happy with my results.
But I'm really happy that you are setting this goal with a really proper base layer of like foundation. Like you've done the work that you just need to like flip a gear and then the progress will begin in the right direction.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for some of our listeners, we might need to take a step back and say, hey, maybe you're not looking for, 12% body fat as your specified goal. Maybe you just need to, up your daily activity or up your fitness, that you are walking a half marathon each week. So I think a marathon is 26.5 or no, 26.2.
I thought it was 0.1. Wow, we sound dumb. Let's check it out. What's a marathon?
A marathon is...
While she's looking that up, though, one thing I wanted to say that with my goal, though, is that I do have specific steps to get me there, not just 12%. So it's, we'll talk about it.
Perfect. And I was right. It's 26.2.
That's what I said.
Oh, did you?
No.
That's funny. So, I mean, if someone wanted to walk a half marathon each week, that would be 13.1 miles. Which, I mean, that's for 7 days. That's either a huge goal or a doable goal, and I guess your goal should be both. So if that works for you, then hey, I set your goal for you. Once you have set your goal or your BHAG, because you have to know where you want to go before you do anything else. So you have to know where you've been, you have to know where you are, then you have to know where you want to go, and then you need to set a timeline. Step, I guess, 1. Set a timeline, and then from there, form a game plan of the required steps to get there. So let's step back to setting a timeline. So even though it's technically a big goal that we're looking for here, you need to assess that it's actually somewhere you can get to. Like I mentioned, maybe not all of our listeners, or even me as a female, maybe I shouldn't or I don't want to get down to 12%, just in the way I am.
It's not your goal. And that's fine.
That's not my goal. But I mean, like, hey, 16%, I see you. 17%, I see you. Anyways, or walking that half marathon each week. Whatever your goal is, you need to assess and reevaluate a second time to see if it's actually something you can do. It's the whole part of making this BHAG doable. And this is what makes the timeline important. So if you set a timeline to your goal, you'll know where you need to be at certain steps of the timeline. But then you can also say, I don't know, if you are not Derek, who has, more than 5 years experience of working out, more than 2 years practice and habit forming of working out almost every day. The last year, he has worked out pretty much every single day. He has a very good foundation. If that's not you, but you still want the goal to get to a 12% body fat composition, then just set your timeline accordingly. You can get there. Absolutely. And I definitely don't want to pull anyone away from making really, really big, awesome, life-changing goals. That's great. But just make sure your timeline is going to work for you. Derek, what's your timeline? I mean, you said within the year. So
Yeah, I think for me, like it's the kind of thing where the big timeline is the year and the big goal is the 12%. So 12% by the end of the year. Now, for me, I break that out into, what is really holding me back from that? What is keeping me from getting my 12%? And for me, I've identified that as my diet. Like you said, I have no problem getting up and working out every day. I love it. That's my happy place.
But so for your timeline.
But so for my timeline, I break it down into smaller chunks. And I say, okay, well, first I need to establish this eating habit every day. So for me, it's to really lock down my intermittent fasting, and I need to, but I mean, if I really wanted to, if I really, really wanted to, I could say, okay, what is my percentage at now? Let's say I'm at 20% right now, right? And if I want, I could say I have 12 months to go. How many percent do I need to lose every month? Right. And then that way that gives me a nice like step by step, and I could really mark it out on my calendar if I really wanted to keep to the time. And then each one of those timelines each month, I'll have my smaller actions that will get me follow along that track of that timeline.
Exactly. So yeah, setting a timeline is really important, and I think yours is doable for the year. I mean, it's going to take some lifestyle changes,
I know
but
it's
I'm
doable.
excited.
I just have to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, look, we've all heard about the lady that went from couch potato to running a marathon in 6 months with little to no training, but she's the exception, not the rule. And you need to be planning and acting and living as if you are the rule, not the exception. And that goes for all of us. If things do go quicker than the timeline you set for yourself, then just adjust your timeline, move everything up a little bit. And that's great. So a question to ask yourself is, when do you want to achieve your goal by? And then from there, you need to break down the big goal and the timeline into more manageable bites to chew, like what Derek was saying, like the smaller little steps to do every month or every week or every single day. And this is honestly my personal, it's the most important part of this whole journey is the small little daily actions add up to a huge BHAG, right? That big, hairy, audacious goal. We're coming for you with little tiny chunks. You don't have to write Ellen DeGeneres a letter a week to get there.
A letter a week.
I mean, you could try it. Let me know what she says. Or how long it takes to get her a restraining order.
Yeah.
But so from there, once you figure out your BHAG, once you figure out your timeline, then start to create those little smaller actions to help you push and to give you more direction. That's where you can fine tune the timeline. If you are doing little daily actions, but you notice you're farther along in your progress or a little bit farther behind in your progress, then that's where you can fine tune and tweak things a little bit more. So this is, what Derek was saying, work out X amount of times a week, learn about, how to cut body fat, or body composition in a safe way and in a sustainable, because you're not prepping for anything, right? Like you would like to sustain, a nice healthy 12 to 15% body fat composition.
Yeah, the underlying actions for my goal are really establishing making adjustments to my current diet, because I already have a fairly healthy diet. There's just a couple of things I need to lock down with a little bit more discipline. But really, if you look at those underlying actions, it's just that I need to establish eating habits that are sustainable and still enjoyable for me. That's my thing. Like you said, I'm not prepping for a comp. I'm not that guy. I've never really been interested in doing any sort of body competitions. It's all personal for me. I just like to challenge myself, and I take pride in the way I look. So it's the underlying action for me is I need to establish these habits, and great, cool. I spent the last couple of years becoming, no problem at all going to the gym every day. So now it needs to be, okay, Derek has no problem at all saying no to a baked good. That's my thing. You know, baked goods are my weakness. I don't like candy. I'm not even a big chocolate guy, but if someone is like, hey, I just made fresh apple pie.
Derek has never met a baked good that he hasn't liked.
I love it. So that's my thing though, is being able to recognize and moderate that and say, you know what, like maybe once a week or whatever I end up, you know, that's kind of what I'm shooting for right now, and see what kind of progress that gets me, and I can be flexible and see, do I need to lock it down more? Do I need to do whatever? But yeah, I have my goal. I have my daily actions. I'm still going to work out every day. I'm going to work in, you know, I'm tweaking my workouts a little bit more to be more fast paced, more cardio type weightlifting, just so I can get into that more of a body, I guess, body mentality. I don't know, body mindset, but yeah, no. So definitely though, I have those daily actions, and I'm just making those underlying actions something that I can sustain and still be happy with, because you can't sustain it if you're miserable during it. And if you're miserable during it, what's the point?
Yeah. And
well, you need to learn to love it too. And that's a whole other thing.
And I just want to confirm that like, you're not going to jump into it all tomorrow, starting Monday. Like you're not going to start eating your fitness regimen. Like you're not jumping into someone who has a 10% or a 12% body fat composition and doing their workouts right now, right?
No, tomorrow I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do my normal planned workout that I already do every day. So that's already down pat for me. That's nothing new. I'm going to do my normal intermittent fasting that I do. That's already down pat. I do that every day. The only new thing that I'm introducing to my regimen and my plans is that, you know, if tomorrow at some point it's, oh man, I would love an iced coffee right now or something. It's been like, you know, I don't need the extra fat and calories right now, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's my new thing I'm introducing is additional discipline in my diet.
Ooh, I like that.
That's all I'm introducing. Working out is normal. My timing of my eating is normal. It's just one little thing that I'm introducing that, coupled with everything else, should give me the big result I want.
Yeah. And I mean, those are a couple really, really great ideas of, you know, how to break it down. If it is a physical goal, you know, make sure your workouts are tailored to that. Make sure your eating is tailored to that. You cannot outrun a really crappy diet. Maybe someone can. Just assume that you're the body that cannot, you know, and live your life accordingly. A huge thing that I do want to bring up that I wasn't really planning on, but I want to talk about mindset, you know, just with being more disciplined, especially with health and even with wealth too, with our wellness and our wealth. It is all about our mindset in this kind of sacrificing mode a little bit. Getting started is a sacrificing mode. So where do you think, and this is just a, you know, rhetorical
question for the masses.
Question for the masses, question for the universe. So, rhetorical question, I guess is what it's called. But where do you think you get a bad attitude from if you are doing something? Where does it come from? And I want to say your mindset. It's all about your mindset, and it's all about how you self-speak about it. So I've never really been a fad dieter at all. Sure, I did like an eating program or a meal planning, met with a dietitian before our wedding, ended up gaining weight. It was great. Felt like a really
oh my gosh,
good thing. No, I mean, it's fine. I looked really good.
Great.
I did look great. But it's a mindset that I learned that you can't say can't. I can't eat that. I can't do that workout. Oh, I can't go out because I'm saving money. Mm-hmm. You can't live your life saying can't because of a goal. If you set this goal, you intentionally put it there. You choose everything that's in your life. So if you say you can't do something because of you're making your goal an excuse, which is absolutely like the worst thing you could do about
your goal. Making your goal the bad guy.
Right, exactly.
When it is your best friend.
Where like, call me. I'll be your bad guy any day of the week. If you need something to justify you not eating that baked good. Call Derek. He will be
I'll yell at you.
He'll be your, what's it called? Your sponsor.
Well, it's like, what did you do when you wanted to go home from a sleepover? And it was you wanted to, when you were a little kid.
Oh, that I was dying to go to a sleepover?
Well, but you wanted to go home. You yourself, Hannah wanted to go home and sleep in her own bed, but didn't want to look like the bad person. So in order to still save face with your friends.
I'd either say I was sick or my mom wanted me to come home.
Yeah. And your mom was all about it. She was like, yeah, just say.
No, she was not. I actually, there were many times.
When was that then? Was it on dates or something? Or like if you're at someone's house?
No. That was just one time growing up in school. I didn't want to go to school. I was like in first grade. Don't give me that look. We talked about this last week.
I think you're remembering a different time than I'm thinking of.
Okay, then whatever.
Anyway.
But no, and thanks for bringing up the sleepovers. Sorry to the people and their moms that I lied to.
Everyone did that as a kid.
Oh, but I had to go in person and apologize to them and say, hey, I lied to you about wanting to leave your slumber party early.
What?
So thanks for the invite. Hopefully I get another one, but maybe I'll say no this time because I actually don't want to go to this social thing. Anyways, it's your mindset. Oh my gosh. Derailed. Okay.
Mission accomplished.
Thanks, Derek. So, no, it's all about your mindset. You can't make your goal the bad guy. You can't make your goal become an excuse for you to not live your life to the fullest or YOLO or whatever.
Oh my.
Like, that's a load of bull crap. And you need to just own the decision. You need to either own that you are going to cheat on your goal right now, or you are going to own that you made a goal and you're going to stick to it. Which promise will you feel worse breaking? The goal to yourself or the goal for that social obligation or eating that one thing or not going to the gym or spending your money on something? Last episode, we talked about buyer's remorse on when you had extra money because you budgeted so darn good that you had extra money at the end of the month and you spent it and you feel like crap after.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good feeling. So don't make your goals the bad guy. Change your mindset and say, I am not eating that right now. Do you know what? I am really valuing my sleep right now because 8 hours makes or breaks the rest of my day and week and 4 days in advance and whatever. So I need to not be out past 8:30. Everyone knows that I am in bed by 9 o'clock and, that's a really strong lifestyle choice I keep, but I have to go to bed. I don't stay up late. I don't do X, Y, or Z because my goal is so much greater than this little thing. But that's not to say, oh, hey, friends who need me right now or want to be with me right now, screw you. It's saying,
no, why would anyone? That's so ridiculous.
No, but I'm not going to communicate it that way either.
No, but no one should take it that way either.
No, I mean,
is that really a friend?
No.
Hey, I've been feeling horrible lately and I'm really trying to lock my life down. I think I'm just going to pass up on tonight. Let's hit up a weekend or something though, I
guess if it's the more times you say it though,
mm-hmm.
the more they'll think it's just an excuse and that you don't want to do anything with them. So what I was going to say is that reschedule and make it something that actually works for both of you as opposed to feeling like a compromise that you're eventually going to have to reschedule again. Right. So let's say, it's after a shift at work because people do that and friends want to go grab drinks or dinner or whatever. These are all things that I have know nothing about or have any experience in, but that's not because I don't have friends.
I just want to go home when I'm done at work.
But that's the thing is, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I'm not interested in doing that, or no, I'm just not doing that right now because I need to get to bed early, or I'm doing a special eating thing and my meal is already waiting for me at home. Whatever it is. Long story short, this has been way longer of a tangent than I wanted it to be, but it's your mindset. Stop having a victimist attitude about the things you choose to put in your life because that's not going to help you get any closer to your goals. You are just going to have a negative feeling the whole time while you're working on your goals. And then you're just going to quit because you chose to make this goal. You chose to make it an excuse then you chose to quit it because it felt like it got too hard because you made it a bad thing. I just want to like grab whoever needs to hear this by their ears and just like wiggle your, like
Oh
just
my
shake your
gosh.
face and be like, honey, you need to know this because this is what's stumping you. Like your greatness is an arm's reach distance away, but you decided to reach and then your arm got tired. And so you just dropped it instead of using your freaking other arm to hold your arm up or taking a step closer to grab it, you know?
Or not even that your arm got tired, because that implies that like you had your own personal burnout in your arm. It's someone said, hey, why is your arm up?
Yeah.
That's literally it. Doesn't that sound so stupid?
Yeah.
Hey, why is your arm up? Oh, I was going to grab this stack of $1 million right here. But I mean, if that's weird to you that I would have my arm out, then I won't put my arm out. Like people are so shy about their
would you mind
goals.
holding this?
Like it's so stupid to me when people get like, they don't want to say their goals. Like you should, like, sure, someone can be like, oh, wow, really? Like you want to lose weight or you want to do this or that? Or it's like, you can be like, yeah, I really do. And if someone's questioning that, do you really want them in your life?
Well, and if people are enabling you to not do that and to quit already, and they're like, oh, Derek, you don't need to lose weight. You look great the way you are. And I mean, it's not because Derek wants to, it's because he thinks he needs to look a certain way. It's because he wants to.
Just say my answer to that, because I do hear that, because I'm not shy about my goals. People will say, you know, like, dude, why do you go to the gym so much? Why? And I'm like, it's because I want to.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's it? Yeah, that's it. Because I want to.
Yeah.
It's fun for me. I enjoy it. I have a desire to do something, so I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah.
That is literally the end all be all to any sort of challenge when people want to throw weird questions at you and be like, seriously, why do you want to do that? Or really, you're going to use your time that way? Or come on, you can be like, no, I want to, or no, I don't want to. You know, hey, have this. Come on, have the piece of cake. Come on, it's my birthday. Have the piece of cake. Have this crappy cake that I spent $5 for. Come on. And you can say, you guys, I just don't want it. I'm sorry. I'm here. Happy birthday. You know, and you don't have to be weird about it, but you just like, I really just don't want. I just don't want a piece right now.
Unless it's my sister-in-law that made the cake. Like,
guys.
It's no, but say,
ooh, yeah.
Like,
you got to say yes to that cake.
So that's what I'm saying is every cake that you think will be worth it won't be unless it's my sister-in-law's cake.
She's the exception.
She's the exception.
But the rule is that it's okay to say I don't want to. That's it, guys. You don't have to be shy about it. So,
but yeah, so instead of saying, yeah, what was the other option? Just to nail that down.
What do you mean?
Like, what's the other option instead of saying I don't want that or I'm choosing? My personally preferred thing to say no is I'm choosing not to.
Yeah, sure. However you want to word it. I'm just saying.
What is that instead of?
I don't know. I don't get what you're driving at. I'm sorry.
I can't.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Instead of, yeah. You don't need to say I can't. And like you kind of went over that.
Yeah. I'm wrapping up. So I want to review. So just to review really quick, start off by looking at your past, your present, and then being able to set a goal for the future. Once you set that goal, make sure it's big, make sure it's hairy, make sure it's audacious. It's a BHAG of a goal. It should feel scary. It should feel uncomfortable when you think about it. But do you know what? It's doable because you're going to choose to do it. That easy. From there, set a timeline. And then from there, form a game plan of the smaller required steps of getting there. If it's making a habit, make sure you have supplemental habits that get you there. If you want to start working out every day, set out a workout outfit before you go to bed every night, or put on your workout clothes as soon as you wake up if you don't go to work, because then your clothes are on. Hopefully someday you'll drive by a gym and someday you'll just get out of your car, walk into that gym and get a workout in. From there, once you've broken it down, really assess and constantly be assessing yourself of where you're at, where you can go, readjust your timeline if you need to, readjust the little smaller broken up things, but just all in all, make sure you do something for your goal every single day. we don't get to take any days off here. Yes, some days it feels like you are just going through the motions. It feels like you are just, checking something off your to-do list, and that's okay. Every day isn't going to have motivation. Every day isn't going to have the same energy that you started or when you wrote your goal. It's not going to happen, and it's totally an unrealistic expectation if you believe that. You need to just do something every single day for your goal. And maybe that requires a little bit more effort and a little bit more thinking if the way you've been going about your goal is a little bit different. And let's say you have the flu and you can't go to the gym, and you shouldn't go to the gym because you'll get everyone else sick. Then use your judgment, but then do something for your goal. Listen to a podcast, go for a walk, do a plank, whatever it is. Just don't lose the habit. Don't just take one day off because X, Y, or Z excuse seems bigger than your goal. It's not. And just make sure to keep it simple. You master it one thing at a time. And
last thing I was just going to throw out there as a real world example of what to do when maybe you physically can't do, like you said, being sick. On rest days for me, because, I take a rest day. It's good for you. You need to sleep and recover and stuff. But as I like to think about, what am I excited to do when I get to go back?
mm-hmm.
Like I think of, oh man, I want to do this workout, or man, I'm so excited to, and I'll hype myself up, and it is almost more effective than if I had gone and done the workout that day. Like for me, Sundays, take a rest day, right? And it's like, cool, like I could totally go work out on a Sunday, get another workout in. Yes, that would compound, and you could totally make an argument for that. But at the same time, I know how important my rest is. And so mentally, the return I get by taking that time to amp myself up and plan and write down and be like, I'm going to do this on Monday when it's time for me to go back at it. And man, when I get there on Monday, I have that much better of a workout, and I'm that much more into it. So that would be my real world example of what you can actually do, is look forward to what you can do and you can get back into it.
Awesome. And then, keep it simple, master one thing at a time, and just do something every single day. And then also limit distractions, negativity, or doubt. Flush those toxic people out of your life that aren't supporting your goals, or make them think that they need to do it too. And then you have a new buddy to do it with you. Make sure you change your mindset and turn your can'ts into don'ts, or I choose not to's. And just remember that you are awesome. You're going to make 2019 amazing. And I want to challenge you guys. I want to hear your BHAGs. Tweet us your BHAGs. BHAG, Big Hairy Audacious Goal. Tweet us your BHAGs at Wealthy Podcast. Make sure you tag us so we can actually see it. And I would love, I know we would both love to be able to support you, whether it's a wellness BHAG or a wealth BHAG. Set that goal and let us know how we can support you. And thank you so much for listening, you guys. Hopefully you got a little bit from this episode. Do you have anything else you want to add, babe?
No, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think we had some good info. Hit us up on the social media, email us, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. We always like to give out personal, advice and hear your situation so we can really get down in the nitty gritty. It's hard to give a one size fits all, so we don't try to. If you want to get in touch at all, reach out to us through all the different methods. We'll get back to you.
And please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Podcasts, we grow because you talk about it. So please tell your friends about this awesome podcast that you're listening to, or even if it's just mediocre, just talk about it. Any publicity is good publicity. But we really love you guys, and we can't wait for this fun, wealthy community to grow, and we can't wait to see how wealthy looks and feels on you. Hopefully you feel like you have a little bit more power to be well and wealthy in your life. And this is Hannah.
This is Derek. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.